again. How are you all doing? Unfortunately for you guys, you get to look at me. The Australians downstairs sent out a face for radio, so they're happy downstairs. That's a joke. That's a joke. So, I'm going to start off by saying a couple of words, and then I'm going to translate them for you, okay? So, tá fáilte rómh go gatan na Gaillimhe, tá tuairis beagnach le déanamh na Dearmó seo. Héis an tuair seo ba neart ólas agaí faoi stair agus cultúr na Gaillimhe. Jason is Anam Dunn, is Misha Bert Dory Doris, agus is Bertie and Anam Dunn Tomanabus, Choa. Agus the Sullivan give me on das, Aggie, and Lynn, and Taurus Shop. What language are they speaking there, guys? Irish, yes, which is of course a Gaelic language. So what I said is you're very welcome on this bus. We've a nice bus tour to do. Jason is my name, I'm your tour guide, and Bertie is the name of our great driver. And by God, when we go through the city, you'll know that it is a tough city to drive through. And at the end of this tour, you'll have lots of knowledge about the history and culture of Galway. And we hope you have a really good time. Now, are you all excited? Yeah. Perfect. We're all good, Bertie. Let's go, let's go. So if you look out here, guys, you'll see 14 flags that litter the top of the park here, just to the right here. And those are the 14 tribes of Galway. So the tribes were Norman tribes. Galway originated as a Norman city in comparison to other cities in Ireland. Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Wexford, Waterford all started out as Viking cities. Which is quite ironic, because Galway has kept its medieval core, where Dublin, even though Dublin is about 400 years older, is now just full of glass buildings. So, these 14 families ruled Galway like an oligarchy. And the most important family is, of course, the Lynch family, the blue flag here, the second last flag. They were the most powerful of all the 14 oligarchical powers, and you know, they were wine traders who lived in Spanish. This guy is a rare commodity. We don't get the sun off of here, so when we do, it's just not enough to grow grapes. So because of that, we get our wine from Spain. That's why we go to Spain. We've unfortunately lost our world emptiest drinkers and what we lost that's like it's a shame. We lost an Eastern European country. I'll do my best to get that side back. Join us. Irish Americans. Let me see if I can get this right. We have Australia, we have Antrim, depending if it's just outside that side of Belfast. If not, count it down. 50-50 really. We have America. I think it's a very generalization of it, but it's kind of hard to. Florida, where are my Floridans? There. We said Floridans over somewhere else as well. There. Let's see if I can get this right. California. California. Okay. Do we have Canada here? No. We're in Canada. So it's kind of hard to have so many people. We have Westmeath as well here. The best county of the world. Said no one. Mullingar is a great spot. That's where Niall Horan is from, guys. So these guys are from where Niall Horan is from. They also have a really big cathedral there. No, we're in the best county of counties that start with G here in Ireland, because there's only one that starts with G. The best county in all Ireland is called Mayo. I don't know if any of you heard of Mayo? County Mayo. The best county of all 32 counties on this island. Definitely don't have a curse on them or anything like that. I will be telling you about the curse on the water. But we are making our way back in towards the Ayr Square district. So we started our tour at the top of Ayr Square. We're making our way into the bottom of Ayr Square. This is where the historical links of Galway to the rest of Ireland begin. So we have our coach station right there, that'll take you right to the airport, Dublin Airport that is. And then we also have our trains and everything. But from here, guys, if any of you are going on a day tour, Hyde Hotel, we just passed it. We go to the Clifton over with Lally's Tours, or the airlines, and then you go to the Hyde Hotel. Okay? So up here, guys, so you're going to see the two Irish flags in front of us. To the left of it is a big, massive hotel called the Hargan Hotel. And this used to be the home of Edward Hare, Sir Edward Hare. He was the English landlord here at the time. During British rule here. And he donated the park here. On my left and your right, he donated that park to the city. Which is why it's now called Ayr Square. But its official name is now John Fitzgerald Kennedy Memorial Park. because he visited here, JFK, the 35th President of the United States, visited here in 1963, June 1963. And he spoke out to a crowd of about 85,000 people. He said, hands up if you were else across the water. 85,000 hands up. He said, if you go out to Galway Bay on a very clear day with really good eyesight, you start waving, you just might see that relative in the next parish over wave back. Now guys, we're going to take a right hand swing, making our way in towards the port of Galway. If you look to your left, you will see that we are capable of doing these things. We're not all in cash cottages. So Galway is becoming a really big metropolitan city. In the next 20 years, so we're but we're making our way in towards the port, and here it's actually a tidal port, meaning they have to check the sea of an hour before going to the port. Not a very effective model, it's not too long overall. So we're very limited in the amount of cruise ships. There's no everywhere. But once we do get this port rebuilt, because they're actually filling in this water here, and they're making more accommodation and retail spaces. The actual port's being extended back out that way, so it'll be a lot more of a deep water port, and a lot more cruise ships and cargo ships are going in. So we might be even doing life guides on boats as well. God help any tour guide who wants to do that life guiding in seas like this. We get very, very rough weather here in the west of Ireland. Does anybody see the map of Ireland? You see how rugged the western landscape is? Yeah, this is a rare thing for us. Despite all that, you still see people swimming in the water when there's storms falling. The police actually have to make their way to Saltaire to make sure people are not that much of idiots to run into the sea while it's storming. Now guys, if you look to your right over here, you'll just see a little restaurant called Ruby. Now this restaurant was the home of Howard Cook. He's one of the writers here from Galway. He wrote 474 short stories in his 46-year life. And they touched on very quirky subjects. He wrote a story about prostitution, he wrote a story called Teoria. Talking a little bit about later on, kind of touching on stuff. But yeah, he went out to London in his early years, and then he joined the civil service. And once he joined the civil service, he joined a little thing called the Gaelic League, and that gave him his inspiration to return to Ireland and write for the Irish. But enough of that. The 14 tribes, they exercised their maritime power from this port. But they actually also built old city walls for the old city, or actually just come past the last of those city walls. So we just up it. They kicked off the native Irish off the land. They made a rule: no O's or Macs shall flag our streets. So people who have O's or Macs in their name, so your O'Neills, your O'Connors, stuff like that, your McCarthy's, your McGinn, or something like that. I'm a McGoff, so if they thought I was doing a tour guide of their city, they'd be turning in their graves right now. Nothing they can do about it now. But they eventually became more Irish than the Irish themselves. So they adopted Irish custom, Irish dance, Irish language and stuff. Just take a look to the left. See the last of the city wall. Just in there. And this is on the other side of the Spanish Arch. And right here is our museum. If any of you plan on going to the museum today, I would not recommend it. It's closed. It goes on Sundays and Mondays. Now we're coming up for our first stop here, guys. Anybody want to get off? Does everybody still want to hear me talk? Everyone else is hearing me talk. That's perfect. I haven't bored let anybody work just yet. I'll try my best though. Now guys, if you look to your left, you will see through the butchery the Spanish Arch. So the Spanish Arch, hello guys, how are we? We all good up here? 1705. And then the man was looking at the But now it's a very good spot to go drink at. Now not exactly on 12 o'clock is what I have to do. But when in Rome, alright? Not Rome, Galway. But we're making our way across the most known bridge here, guys. We make our way that way, don't you worry. We'll be time for photos later on. Now, on your right, you're taking a left-hand turn. Just about before you do that, on your right, you will see a little sign there that says Hijo de Galway. Ernesto Guevara Lynch. Che Guevara is actually related to the Lynch family here in Galway. So it's quite funny, you have Che Guevara on one side, you have JFK on the other side. So when it came to Cuba, the Irish had skin on both sides. You can never lose. If you look to your left, you will see the long walk. It's the most photographed area in Galway, or if not the most photographed area. It's that row of beautiful coloured houses. Now, it's not a very long walk, despite its name. It's actually quite a short walk. We do things in roundabouts here, guys. But it's called the Long Walk because a lot of Irish people would leave Ireland for the last time or forever from that spot. So they were longing for Ireland when they left. And it's in the song Galway Girl by Steve Earle. I took a stroll by the old Long Walk and I go, that's what it's in reference to there. But we are overlooking the village, the Long Walk from the village of the Claddagh. So the Claddagh developed outside the old city walls here. And they kept on to the Gaelic culture far longer than a lot of other spots did in Ireland during British rule. We're a Gaelic country nowadays, but it's nice to see that it clung on to its own culture for quite a while. But yeah, so this used to have a lot of whitewashed, thatched cottages, but the 1930s saw the Irish government, the newly formed Irish government, bulldoze the entire thing because there was lots of It is now one of the most sought after areas for residential property. Any of you buy a house in so I love it. Very well. Also, if anybody has ever any more questions they want to ask away. But easy questions on the ask. If they're hard questions, you can ask away. So that is a Gaelic football pitch or a hurling pitch, a soccer pitch, and you also have a rugby pitch somewhere. Well, that's a rugby pitch, sorry. So Gaelic football is one pitch, that's soccer. So we call it soccer here, guys, because we have Gaelic football. I personally hate for soccer. Now, I don't know if sewage treatment plants are your idea of a tourist attraction, but there, take a left, you can make your way out to Muckle Island. Now, why would you? Well, you would because of the brilliant views you can actually get of the city, the bay, the Barn, the Canada, and so on to get there. This morning, the Barn was came out shrouded in clouds, but now you can actually see perfectly across the bay. Beautiful. Again, if you did like sewage treatment plants, that's also a pretty place to go to. So that was the burring across the river, across the bay there. So it is a karst limestone landscape, and that's where the cliffs of Moher are. So if you look to your left, guys, you'll see 3 standing stones there. And that is in the Cecilia Griffin Park, and that is our famine memorial. So in the famine, many Irish people died in the 5 years on Island. This story follows Celia Griffin. She was from Connemara. Herself and her family led the journey into Galway in search of food. She died in Hampshire. That's the famine memorial, yeah. So that's Celia Griffin right there. And it's in that where she was 6 years of age when she passed away. 6 years of age. Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. But this is an upbeat tour. So we've invaded other countries because of that. We're everywhere. You can't escape us. Now guys, if you look to your left, you'll see Grafton Beach. I'm going to tell you a little funny story about one of our other tour guides here, if that's okay. Sean, he's a very happily married man. He married his lovely wife in 2019. He went out for a little swim there in the COVID pandemic 2020. What came off his finger was wedding ring. Maybe he guys decided to do this one. You find his wedding ring is off the floor. I know him might be a couple of pints that but he's lost 4 wedding rings at this stage also. 4 wedding rings. And he's married to the same woman. So there's no hope for him. All I can say is that lady has the patience at this stage. Now we're taking that turn here, guys. We're making our way to Salt Hill. This is the start of the Salt Hill Farm. It's a big walk. So your big is kick the wall. So don't worry, I'll tell you where we're stopping, guys. If people are getting out, okay? We're not here to stop. But you walk the prom, you kick the wall, you get good luck. You don't kick the wall, it's bad luck. Just restart the entire wall and that's the way again. We have a weird affinity for stone walls. Does anybody kiss the Barney stone? Oh, some people have. God help me. Only the Irish are charging money to kiss the stone wall. I don't think you'd be paying other people money to kiss the stone wall. I some kind of brag to be an asset that they kick the wall. And like, that's not the flex you think it is. We're the ones who got money on people for that. And the wall is by the Black Rock Diving Tower. So I'll give you a shout at the Black Rock Diving Tower. Right now. So this is my third floor to that. And it's busy this morning, it's busy now. So, then again, people spin during the winter because of the but if you look to your right, guys, you will see the National Aquarium of Ireland. We don't have many aquariums here in Ireland, so we are an island nation. But this is a good chemical site. Marine good thing. Now guys, we're making our way in towards Salt Hill. Salt Hill used to be the nightlife hub of Galway, so a lot of the nightclubs and the casinos, your dance halls and ballrooms were all here. And it's still cling on to as casinos, so there's a saying here at Salt Hill that Salt Hill didn't break your heart, it didn't steal it. But the original Caesar's Palace is here, so where's the original Sin City? That's a lie. It's just called Caesar's, nothing has to do with it. But if you want to go to a nice rooftop bar, I'll lie you there. So I know the guys downstairs are looking to get up here, so let's go look. Just about to get off. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, it was lots of fun. Thank you very, very much. Every 19 minutes, yeah. Thank you very much, guys. See you later downstairs, okay? Bye now. Irish names are completely different to what you recognize. Now we're taking a left-hand swing towards the University. So this is where you really need to be careful with opening the bench. Really have to stress that. When we make that turn around, you're going to get hit. I guarantee you will. But that's also the best way to take the photos as well. But this building here, the quadrangle, is based off the Christ Church in Oxford. Also, this was built here in 1845 by the British administration, so this is called Queen's University, Galway. Actually, keeping on that theme, there's a post box just outside there that says V, Crown, or, so Victoria Regina, Queen Victoria is what it means. We were that lazy when we got independence, we just painted that red box green. I'm not even lying, guys, that's actually all we did. But a couple of famous people associated with the university here, guys. J.R.R. Tolkien, you know, Lord of the Rings, he was an external examiner here. And he based a lot of Lord of the Rings on Irish mythology. Thank God it was him and not Disney who got hands on the information. God help what kind of movie would have came out with a Disney movie in Irish mythology. I don't know if I'd like it. Nelson Mandela visited here in 2003. Yeah, right now they care for this. Catherine Connolly and Michael D. Higgins, aforementioned Irish presidents. Nicola Coughlan, the aforementioned actress. Also Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen's father. The West Wing. I think it's called the West Wing. Yeah. He stood here in the 60s. In 2005. So you're not going to find many Irish people called Ramon or Estevez, but he was a mix between Spanish and Irish. He loved both countries very, very much. Yeah. Carlos Estevez. So yeah, it's funny. They're more profitable state things in English language media than as Charlie Sheen and Irish. But Martin Sheen loves Ireland. He does not shut up about how much he loves Ireland. And he's stuck here because Enda Kenny, one of Ireland's Taoiseach. Taoiseach is our equivalent to Prime Minister. He studied here as well. Listen. Now guys, hot quiz. This cathedral right ahead of us. How old is it? You know the answer, don't tell me. Take a wild guess. 1600s. Any other guess? 1850s. And one more guess, and I'll tell you the answer. 1200s on 1429. No. No. It's 61 years old. It was built here in 1965. It took 5 years to build, so 60 to 65. Sorry? Well, that's just one of our entrances. So that is the more visitor entrance there. So the previous site here was the Galway City Jail, spelled G-A-O-L. And that stone that was used for that building has now been repatriated and used for repurposed and used as a foundation for this building. And the stone here was got from the Richardsons of Moycullen, and they got the stone from Menlo, just outside this. Yeah, that's good. And then it's a copper roof, so copper oxidized so it gets its most moisture. On the inside, it is Connemara marble flooring. So we don't have any marble deposits here in Ireland, so to have one of Connemara right on the doorstep is great for us to keep the kind of locality with it. A very famous man donated £20,000 for construction of it, and that is of course JFK, the Catholic himself. But he was also invited, which he accepted back in 1965 and opened. Unfortunately, he was assassinated in Dallas 5 months after his visit here. And there is now a big stained glass window in honor of him. So if you want to go in, it's €5 to enter, and then that goes towards the upkeep of the church. The reason we had to build this so late is because we used to have a Catholic church here, but that was converted by Oliver Cromwell, lovely man, from a Protestant Catholic church into a Protestant church. So that's not how petty we are here, how much we hate Cromwell. So Cromwell died of malaria in 1658, okay? And how did you get malaria? Mosquitoes. So Cork City Council are looking to build the world's smallest statue in honour of that mosquito. Cromwell. The English hate him so much that when he died, they exhumed his body and they actually hung him again. Yeah, very, very controversial. Now guys, we're crossing the Salmon Mere Bridge. So this, again, we're going across the River Carroll. This is the fastest flowing river through a city in Europe. So it's the fastest flowing river through a city in Europe, and there's two explanations as to why. One scientific and one mythological. Do you want both answers? Yes. So scientific is the rate that feeds this river is a lot of power higher sea level. So you have that high sea level, really high water volume, coming down and sending all that water at some speed. When the river rate narrows, that pressure is somewhere on the water spread. Now, mythological reason follows King Brazil, Fearful. forts triumph to invade Ireland and that would go on there. Even a daughter named Princess Galway. She fell in love with a warrior. She fell in love with a warrior named Warrior. He was really, really annoyed at this. He didn't want any romance with Glasgow, so he actually killed the warrior. So she was so upset with Princess Galway, she throws herself into the river and killed herself. And her rage and passion is we kind of leave everybody to their devices. Only time when it's closed is if they're repaving, which is what they were doing for the reason. This is measure map here. Does not have a single bearing on your tour, but there's a little swimming pool in there. And one of our great comedians, Joe, one of the Irish now guys, we are making our way back to Southdale, and there's another stop in Galway base. So if anybody else want to get off here, or everybody's still happy to chat. Anybody have any questions? Any questions on the meaning of life or anything like that? A little bit colder than what it is out here anyway, so I imagine they want to go in there for the cold. I put to tell you myself, I don't even know how so I'm sorry I cannot convert it to Fahrenheit. So it is 21 degrees. And it's going to go to a high of 24 degrees today. So I don't know what about the water temperature now, but it will be a tiny bit colder. People swim there during the winter too, so I don't think the temperature matters at all. Again, as I said earlier on, guys, they're lunatics who do that. And I really wasn't joking when I said earlier on that the guards actually have to be here during the storms. People will go swimming in storms. I don't want to use terms like natural selection, but that does come in mind. Anybody getting off here? No? Perfect. Okay. Your cycle? Okay, yeah. Donegal. Sligo here, Donegal. The most popular beach in Ireland, this is not being biased, but it kind of is Keene Bay in Mayo. It actually has clear water like you see in Greece or Italy. Has anyone seen the movie Banshees of Inisherin? That's filmed there. And it's the 11th most beautiful beach on the planet. Now there's also a beach in County Wexford, Carricklow, where the film saved by the sign of this brutal scene, if anybody's seen the movie. It was filmed there in Wexford. Now guys, as I mentioned, the O'Reilly's rooftop bar is where I recommend going for just lots of hot dogs. I haven't tried to get them on Saturday. So guys, you can see now it's a Monday morning, or Monday afternoon, that's basically. I get a question here often, do you ever work? Are you here ever work? Like, yes, I make this. issue here in Galway is tourism. Not everybody is on the one-way Friday to drive. So because we tourists, because they drive not like pubs like that. Our pubs are busy every single night of the week, and our beaches are busy every night of the week. Has anybody seen the movie The Guard? You have? Yeah? Phenomenal movie. It's filmed here in Galway. Brendan Gleeson's in it, Brendan Gleeson. You know Don Cheadle? Yeah. He's in it as well. And it's filmed here in Galway. It's set here in Galway. It's a phenomenal movie. And one of the scenes of that movie is actually filmed at the diving Galway. The highest grossing Irish movie of all time. Highly recommend checking it out. The Guard is what we call police officers. Guards. And it's a big parade. But yeah, that's the diving tower there, guys. That is Black Rock diving tower. And the wall you kick is around there as well. So the tide is in, there's lots of fun to be had. I haven't actually dived that way yet. It's a bit sacrilegious. I've been living here for 2 years. That's like, the sun has been here in those 2 years as well. So it's not like I'm using that as an excuse, so it's never sunny. They're going to break their legs if they jump in. Yeah, they knew out, yeah, they just can't dive. They have to walk the way out. Believe me, when you see the tide is out, you do not want to dive off that tower. Oh, it would be, yeah. No, you can see the ground underneath. Now guys, we're making our way up to Threadneedle Road. So Threadneedle Road is very aptly named. It's a narrow road, as you can see. And I hate this road with passion. When I drive, I get caught up here all the time. Once we get to the junction up here, it's on a hill with traffic lights. So we're not about 4:30 on this big bus. But we're making our way in towards Knocknacarra. And Knocknacarra is the residential area of Galway. Now, Knocknacarra actually means nothing in the English language. But in the Irish language, its official name is Croagh-na-Carrock. That's where Knocknacarra comes from. And Croagh-na-Carrock means city. And you can overlook the city of Galway, or the old town of Galway. The city is since extended out well past the hill, and it's even further out that way. But that's just a kind of inside once you sit place in Ireland. For example, Dublin means nothing. But there's Irish in Dublin, the original one is Dublin, which means black pool. And little pool there that have black water in it, black colour. Another one is Clea, that's another word for Dublin in Irish, and that means Clea's ford, so the river crossing there. So there's 2 settlements in Dublin, Clea and Dublin, and that's where Dublin gets its English language names. My town of Castlebar in Mayo, its Irish name is Cushlan and Gorick, which means the Barra's Castle or Barra's Castle. The family there that built the castle and started the town. So if you come across any town that starts with Kill, it doesn't mean to actually murder somebody or anything like that. Kill is old church. So Kilkenny, Kenny's old church. Another one, Killarney, you know. There's a little village up in Connemara called Kilkieran, which means Kieran's old church. Any place that starts with Valley, Belfast, Vale Fershta in Irish. I don't really know what Fershta means, but Vale means that. Belfast is Northern Ireland. And it's a bit like a Florida square. you're right now, where that blue car is coming out, and take it out to your right, just here this way, and you will see it's that track for the guys who are just about to take a look. I'll try to get out of your way. Look in there. So it's a 35,000 seater stadium, and it's a home for Galway big football club. Has anybody been exposed to that? So, are you from Down or Antrim? Antrim are a decent hurling club. Not quite as good as Limerick here. But my county Mayo is supposed to be good at football. Now, Gaelic football is a mix between soccer, rugby, basketball, and murder. Because they fight each other like they do hockey. And then hurling is the same as murder, same murder as attack. And kind of what's mixed between lacrosse, field hockey, soccer. Now, hurling is the fastest team sport on the planet. It is extremely fast. And Gaelic football is
Quay kỹ. Galway.
Look, there's a shade spot for you right there.
Galway đó.
Is that any shady for you?
Đúng. Kỹ về cho xem.
Put it like closer.
Gọi cho em đi em bị điếc.